That's why I fucked your fat. It's like literally blasting out of the song, out of the thing, as they open the door to the governor's ball.
Welcome to the guest list with Patrick Hicks. I am joined by sports writer extraordinaire, author Jeff Pearlman. He's got a new book about Tupac coming out this October. So, what made you want to go from sports to music?
I think for a long time I'd wanted to do different things, and sometimes you get a little pigeonholed in
Yeah.
all. I think in all sort of entertainment endeavors. It's like I'm not comparing myself to Beyonce in any way, shape, or form, but it's like what I'm sure when Beyonce was like, "We're going to do a country album," people are like, "Well, why are you doing? Why would you do a country album?"
Yeah.
I just think sometimes you want to express yourself in different ways and explore different avenues. And I've always been a big Tupac fan, and I found him very fascinating. So I just figured, what the hell? Why not try something different?
I'm just going to cut that quote and just Jeff Pearlman compares himself to Beyonce.
Yeah,
It's
that's
going to
good. That's
going
fair.
to clip
Totally
on
fair.
TikTok.
Totally fair. Except I'm better looking. That's the one thing I will say.
One thing I wanted to say before we get started. So, you said you live in Orange County now. I just saw that you teach at Chapman University.
Mhm.
Do you know a professor there named Jerry Hicks?
Of course. Not only do I know Jerry Hicks, I'm an adjunct, so I teach one class a year. His class is literally before mine,
Yeah,
and he always brings really good food for his classes. So I get leftover Jerry Hicks food.
he does. Is he still going to that Italian place? Bringing
Yeah,
the
well,
carpet knots?
it's terrible. The pizza place. Now, wait, why do you know Jerry Hicks?
That's my dad.
What?
Yeah, that's my dad.
What?
Yeah,
It's
it
good I
totally
didn't say
blew
anything
my.
horrible about your dad, who I have nothing horrible to say about. Wow, your dad's great. That's crazy.
I had no idea. I've been following you on TikTok for a long time, and I'm a big Lakers fan, so I was a huge fan of Showtime and Three Ring Circus. So I started following you on TikTok, and then you just posted a video like I teach a class a year at Chapman. I was like, I asked my dad, "Do you know a guy named Jeff Pearlman?" And he went on and on, like, "Oh, he's the best guy. I have so much respect for him." Then he went, "Why? Did he do something wrong? Like, why should I not like Jeff Pearlman?" Like, no, I'm going to
Maybe.
interview him tomorrow.
That's a crazy small world. Yeah, your dad.
Yeah,
I will say though, I will criticize your dad about one thing. One
go
week
for it.
he brought salami slices to class, and I just thought nobody wants salami slices, Jerry.
Salami. Oh,
It was like he always leaves a snack. So like literally not leaves in a bad way. Like there'll always be extra. And he brings really good
yeah.
snacks. And I bring snacks, but I usually don't match him. Like even like this last class was the last class of the semester, and they left behind a box of donuts. And I was like, God damn it, Jerry Hicks beats me because I just brought the shitty piece. But he did once have a thing of salami, like a sleeve of salami things. And I was like, does anyone want this salami? And everyone's like, no. So I think he missed on that. You talk to your dad, no
Yeah, I
salami.
got to ask him about that. It's very strange, but
Wow, funny. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Dad's
that
come on. Dad's a great.
blew my mind. He had no idea that you were big on TikTok. I was like, yeah, he's huge. Like
Your
he's
dad
makes
doesn't seem like he's big on TikTok, I'm guessing.
No, he doesn't understand that I'm on TikTok, so he sometimes will post on Facebook, like, you gotta follow my son, and people will be like, where do we follow him? And he's like, I don't know. I just Google it and his videos come up. So I think
Yeah.
he watches them on YouTube, maybe.
My,
But
my mom will say, I saw you on Facebook. And I'm like, well, it was a video I posted that just you saw on Facebook, and she doesn't quite get that.
all right, so let's start getting into building a playlist of your life. So you
Okay.
grew up in New York, right?
I did a small town, Mahopac, New York, land of nothing.
Okay. So what's a song that reminds you of your childhood?
So I was thinking about this actually, and I'm gonna say there's a song by a rapper named Big Daddy Kane called "I
Oh
Get the
yeah.
Job Done." It's a great,
Hmm.
great song, great
Yeah.
song. And when I was a senior in high school, senior in high school still counts as childhood, correct?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm really getting into hip hop, and my town is very, very white and very, very sheltered. And we're having a school dance, and I brought my tape, my cassette tape of Big Daddy Kane. It's a Big Daddy thing is the name of the tape.
Yeah.
And I'm begging the DJ of the dance, play this song. I get the job done. They're gonna love it. It's gonna blow their minds. They're gonna love it. Like I agree. It's like, yeah, I'll play the song. And the song starts with like this bass drum. It goes do 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 do, and then it goes, and it's like this really awesome dance song. And for about 20 seconds, people were dancing and having a good time. and then the dance floor just cleared, like just cleared. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Back to the Future when he plays Johnny Be Good, but
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
blows up into the Van Halen riff, and he's like,
I
"Your kids are gonna love
remember
it."
that.
I felt
Yeah,
like that was me. That was actually me. Your kids are gonna love it because nobody was ready for Big Daddy Kane
yeah.
except me and like three others.
That's so funny. What other kind of music were they playing at the dance before that came on?
I mean, I don't remember specifically, but I can tell you that I grew up in a land of Bon Jovi,
Hmm.
of Journey,
Yeah,
my, which is totally appropriate for the era. They just, I'm sure now if you went to Mahopac High School, there's a lot of hip hop being played. I'm sure they all
yeah.
know who Kendrick Lamar is. They just weren't like Michael J. Fox. They weren't quite ready for it
Right.
yet.
Yeah. What exposed you to hip hop? Why were you kind of ahead of the curve in your small town?
So what happened is it's a very cliche story, like very, very cliche, but I graduated with 330 people. My best friend in high school was a kid named Jonathan Powell. And the cliche starts because he was one of the literally two black kids in my grade.
Yeah.
And Powell was kind of growing into hip hop. He was learning about hip hop before I was. Run DMC and Beastie Boys and Big Daddy Kane and Public Enemy specifically.
Yeah.
And he exposed me to that music. And slowly I really started to love it and kind of tried to spread the word, but nobody was listening. But yeah, it was my friend John Powell who really convinced me hip hop it
Did
has something going, which it did.
you ever think about being a rapper? You ever try
In the shower and around my kids when they were 3, 4, yes. Otherwise, no. The world does not need me as a rapper. Yeah. Have you
it?
have you ever thought of being a rapper?
Yeah, I wanted to be a rapper so bad when I was like late high school, my early 20s, but I was in a punk band at the time and I kept trying to like get them to let me rap and
Yeah.
they let me a couple times and it was pretty embarrassing. I really hope no video exists of that.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with trying.
I tried, yeah.
I think every now and then, like a good effort. Like I was thinking, just now, the song "One Week" by Bare Naked Ladies. Like the rap riff in that song is actually really good. And that guy's certainly not a rapper. So you can try every
Yeah.
now and then. People try and make it work.
Yeah. What's speaking of live shows, what's a song from a live like concert experience that stands out to you?
Okay. There's a song called "The Choice Is Yours" by a group called Black Sheep,
Hmm.
and I don't. Do you know the song "Choice Is Yours"?
I don't know if I'd have to hear it. I don't know if I know it by title.
I'm.
But
I
I
can
know
almost
Black Sheep.
guarantee you do. It
Hmm.
goes. There's a part where it's like you can do it this or you can do
Oh
it
yeah.
that. You can
Okay.
do it this. And I think the year was 1991, and I was at the University of Delaware, and I wrote for the student newspaper, The Review, and there was a concert coming to the Delaware Fieldhouse, and it was a Tribe Called Quest with Black Sheep opening up.
Nice.
I'd never covered a concert. I'd only been to two concerts in my life. I'd been to the Go-Go's and I saw Chicago. That was it. They signed me this concert. I didn't know how to cover a concert. I didn't know
Yeah.
Tribe Called Quest has gone on to be one of my all-time favorite artists, genre be
Yeah.
damned. I didn't know any of their songs. I remember being at this show, and I would say, let's say there were 300 people in the small Delaware field house. I was probably one of two or three white people at the show. Like every black student who went
Yeah.
to University of Delaware was at the show because at the time hip hop was not mainstream yet. It just
Yeah.
wasn't. And I remember being there, not knowing any of the songs, literally asking the people next to me, "What's the choice? And then what's the name of the song?" I once read the review like years later and was horrified by how many song titles I butchered. But I remember them playing "The Choice Is Yours," and there's a part
Mm.
where he goes, "Engine, number 9 on the
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
engine line," and he goes, "If the train goes off the tracks, hip it up, hip it up, hip it up, back," and people just going crazy, and I'm standing there with my little notepad trying to write it all down, and just everyone around me blowing up because of the song, and it was kind of a magical moment for little me.
Was there any part of you that thought like maybe you would become a music writer, or were you always like it's gonna be sports?
I kind of thought it would always be sports. I was briefly a music writer at the Nashville Tennessean because I needed a music writer to write.
Hmm.
They had a guy named Tom Rowland who covered country music very well, but they wanted someone to cover everything else. And I did that for about
Yeah.
6 months, and I was terrible. And
Really?
they kicked me off the job. I was very bad,
Why?
very
What do you think was the difference that like you had it for sports writing but not music?
because I was an immature little asshole, and I was unwilling to learn or listen to anybody, and I thought I knew everything, and I was very, very mistake prone. I remember
Hmm.
covering a Sheryl Crow concert and referring to her song Viva Las Vegas, not leaving Las Vegas. Like I made mistakes like that. all the time. I didn't even know the
Mm,
difference between like a bass guitar and a regular guitar. Like I just didn't know anything. I was way
yeah.
out of my depth. And I wasn't willing to listen. I was like a cocky young reporter who was unwilling to listen.
So what finally broke that? Like what made you start listening and getting better at your craft to be a sports writer?
Um, I got punished and they put me on the cops beat. And my job on the police beat was just to have a police scanner next to you.
Mm,
And it was all about, I mean, my editor was a woman named Catherine Mayo, and she said, listen, it's just all about who, what, where, when, how, and why. You don't have to dazzle us. We know you can write a snazzy lead, all that stuff. Be a reporter. So I feel like that really refocused my energy. And after that, they put me on sports and I started covering high school wrestling. And I took that
mm.
very seriously. And then I sort of wound up not that long after at Sports Illustrated.
Do you ever listen to music when you write?
Oh,
Yes.
it's interesting. When I was younger, I always did.
Hmm.
As I got older, I found it a little more distracting than helpful. But I used to, Tribe Called Quest was the sound of my writing for
Yeah.
many years. And then also, one thing I do listen to now sometimes when I write is the Mission soundtrack from the movie The Mission. It's this
Oh, okay.
beautiful, haunting, lovely, and I just play it on repeat over and over again. So
Is that
sometimes,
the documentary or is there a movie called The
no, no, no.
Mission?
There's a movie called The Mission,
Okay.
and I forgot the guy's name who does this score, but it's just haunting and
Hmm.
beautiful. So sometimes I listen to that.
So do you have a song that you associate with a specific activity? So if not writing, maybe like your workout song, your driving song, something like that.
Yeah, I would say my number one workout song for a long time was this song by Public Enemy called Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos.
Yes. Nice.
It's
Love
such a
that.
good song. Actually, my
Yeah.
daughter did me real. My daughter hosts she hosts a radio show at UC San Diego where she's a senior. And the other day I was listening to her show and she just randomly played Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. And I realized
Oh,
I was a good dad in that moment that I exposed
yeah.
her. I love
As you should.
everything about that song. I love.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that.
song, to me, that song, I was thinking about it yesterday, actually listened to it as my daughter played it. In a way, it's the example, it's the counter offering to Meatloaf's Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Like it's this
Mm.
opera
Yeah.
saga of a song that just it's a long song
Yeah.
and it takes you on this really vivid journey and it's so real. And when Flavor Flav comes on and he's basically supposed to be in the chopper, being like, "Yeah, boy, we got him. Yeah, we're out of here." It's just so great. I mean, it's set to put you into prison song. I just love it so much.
I've never heard anybody compare Meatloaf and Public Enemy, so I love that.
That's why I'm an
Uh,
A-list.
what's the song that gets you emotional?
So there's a song you probably know called "The Joke" by Brandy Carlisle. Do you know
Oh
The
yeah,
Joke? And
sure.
it I first knew it. I think it was after Hillary lost to Donald Trump in the election. It was being played a lot.
Yeah.
And it just is such a profoundly sad song to me. And I think I hear it differently maybe than some others did or her attended audience, but I always view it as like her, again, this is just my interpretation, her
Yeah.
making fun of Donald Trump that like he doesn't realize he's the joke. Like he doesn't realize that he's the punchline, but he just doesn't realize it. But
Yeah.
whenever I hear it, it brings me back to that real sadness. I remember
Mm.
the night of that election. I mean, we all knew Hillary was going to win, and my wife had baked a Hillary Clinton cake, and she was dressed in her pantsuit outfit, and like it was, and I don't think I've ever seen her more sad. And I've been married for almost 25 years. I don't think I've ever seen her more sad than the aftermath of that election. So when I hear that song, I think of her sadness, and it makes
Mm.
me sad. It kind of brings me down.
That was rough. It was a very weird time in Chicago because the Cubs had just won the World Series. So it was like the Cubs won the
Yay!
World Series, and then Donald Trump got elected president, and we're like, all right, we jumped timelines or something. Like something is wrong. We got to go back,
Yeah,
like let the Cubs lose and undo this.
yeah. It was a crusher. It was a real
Yeah.
crusher.
But that is, I mean, that is a great song. I love her.
Yeah.
What is a song that you associate with a milestone in your life?
All right, so I don't like this song at all. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I was getting married. That's a milestone. And
Yeah.
we had this thing where, it's all corny in hindsight, but like, first dance with your mom or something, like,
Oh yeah.
you gotta do a dance with mom. Mom, you can pick the song. Mom, you pick the song. She goes, you know what song I love? I love I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, can we not dance to that song? But I wasn't going to say that to my mom. So
Right.
whenever I hate that song, it's so cheesy, schmaltzy. I mean,
Yeah.
no disrespect, she's a fine singer, but like it's not my cup of tea at all. But whenever I hear it, I am thrown back to my wedding, dancing with my mom. And my mom and I are very, very close, but she's a very stiff dancer. My mom is a,
Yeah.
and so and the picture is like me and my mom dancing in this very stiff way around the dance floor to I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. So I'd say, unfortunately, Leanne Womack lives in my
Okay.
haunts my dreams.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with a song that you don't necessarily like, but it's a part of your life. Sometimes you think of it.
Yeah.
Do you ever use that for leverage? Like, hey mom, maybe read one of my books since I danced to this song at my wedding for you.
My mom, I think, has finally gotten the message because she just promised me she will read my Tupac book. For people who don't, my mom has never read any of my books. My
Yeah.
dad went died in 2023. My dad read all my books. My mom has never read my books. I think I thought she was intimidated by sports until she told me she recently read the biography of the soccer player Abby Wambach. So that was a little bit of a kick in the nuts to me. That's okay.
What's a song that contains some of your favorite lyrics?
I mean, I hate to say this because it pops right in my head. Actually, I'll do two. One I'll say truly is I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it. It said they were suckers. They wanted
Another
me for
Public
the
Enemy.
army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never. Black Steel in the Hour, Chaos.
Yeah.
But since I use that already, I'll say there's a Tupac song called I Ain't Mad at You. I don't know if you know I
Yeah,
Ain't
of
Mad at You.
course.
And it
Yeah.
has the barge hook and they're just so actually working on the Tupac book. What's interesting about that song is basically a song about him being dead and sort of offering forgiveness to people. And he died shortly after the song came out.
Yeah, it's
But
eerie.
yeah, yeah, really eerie. And the video is very eerie because it's him literally getting shot in a drive-by and meeting all these people in heaven. But working on the Tupac biography, I started to figure out who all the people were. So like there's one thing where he's like, "Oh, you a Muslim now? No more dope games." And that's his cousin Kenny. And he's
Mm,
like, "Don't give nobody no hoochie I'm locked up state." And that was his girlfriend at the time, or
mm.
his wife at the time, fiance wife. And like there are all these references, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, I love I Ain't Mad at You so much. Even though it's a very well-known Tupac song and it's
yeah.
you're supposed to be the cool author who says he likes some B-list song. I think it's one of the best songs ever written.
I did want to ask you too, do you have any like underrated Tupac songs, maybe from
Oh,
as a fan or doing the research of this book that
my my
intrigued you?
favorite Tupac song is a song he wrote, and it's on the album All Eyes on Me, which was his second last album that he released, although he was dead for Machiavelli, called Shorty Wanna Be a Thug. And
No,
it's a
yeah.
song.
Well,
Do you know it?
yeah, I love that song, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so preposterously good. And it really, to me, exemplifies sort of what it what he was trying to explain. Like he actually was not a quote unquote thug in the traditional sense. Like he went
Right.
to performing arts school. He was raised by a Black Panther.
Yeah.
Uh, he wasn't of the streets. He was never a gangbanger. He wasn't a drug dealer except some really weak efforts at selling weed. Like he wasn't that guy. But one of the powers of Tupac, I think, is he really exemplified what others were going through and tried
Yeah.
really hard to do that. And Shorty Want to Be a Thug, which is like a D-side release on All
Yeah.
Eyes. Like nobody knows that song. I'm really kind of surprised and impressed you know it. I love that song.
No, I do love Tupac a lot. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's his music is so good because he is so multi-layered and so interesting. Like he's so thoughtful and artistic and comes from this, interesting background. His mom's a Black Panther and he was a dancer and all this, but
Yeah. Um,
then shot cops and was on death row and like he's just contains so many multitudes. So
he had another song I also really like. People know it. And it's funny because it was released after his death, but he did a song called Thug's Mansion, and then Nas took the
hmm,
song
yeah.
and did a duo. And I think it's beautiful. I think 98% of the music Tupac released after his death or his estate released is garbage and kind of junky and like, sloppy seconds of music. But Thug's Mansion, there's one line in that song, Lil Latasha sure grown, tell the lady in the liquor store she's forgiven, so come home. And that is specifically about, I only know this because I the song. It was about a young girl who went into a name Latasha Harkins, who went into a liquor store in LA got a bottle of orange juice. The shop owner thought she was stealing it and
Yeah.
shot and killed her. So little Latasha come home, tell the lady in the store she's forgiven, come home. It's just a really haunting, haunting, haunting.
Yeah.
Latasha Harlins was the name, not Harkins Harland. So anyway,
I mean, he was so good at kind of conveying messages like that, like dear mama and keep your head up and changes, like very
oh yeah.
profound.
It's funny because changes, people bring up changes and changes. I interviewed Bruce Hornsby for the book because Bruce,
Oh, did you?
Bruce Hornsby, I'll tell you real quick, he told me a very funny story. He said, he got the Tupac Shakur greatest, or whatever CD Changes was on. He
Yeah.
gets it. And his wife and he are driving in their car to an event at the governor's mansion in Virginia. And they listen to Changes and he loves it. He's like, oh, this is great. I love this. And they listen
No.
to all Tupac's greatest hits.
Yeah.
And they pull out and they're blasting. He said they were blasting Tupac's greatest hits. Bruce Hornsby's a very cool guy, like I said. He says they pull up to the Virginia mansion for this black tie affair. And whoever opens the door and Tupac is lit. He said, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat fuck. Is like literally blasting out of the song, out of the thing, as they open the door to the governor's ball. And he thought that was very funny.
Uh, that's amazing. I'm glad he likes that song.
Oh
I
yeah,
um
yeah. He was very cool about it. Like very, very cool about it.
I used to put that song on mixtapes that I would make for kind of like my punk rock friends, like trying to get them into hip hop. I was like, here's a song like this, is pretty accessible. I guess I put that song on the same mixtape like three times for this one friend, and he was like, "Can you stop putting Tupac changes on these mixtapes?" I was like, "Well, you've never said like, oh yeah, I love that song, I love Tupac now." It's like that's because I used to work at Kinko's and they would play the original Bruce Hornsby song every single day. And he's like, and I just never want to hear that song again, like sample or otherwise. I
Yeah,
can't do it.
yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I don't love Changes. I like Changes, but I get it. It's okay. It's not my favorite.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not my favorite. I think it's good, but I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. It's not my favorite. It's not in my top 100 Tupac songs, to be honest with you.
Not in the top 100? Oh man.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, I know a lot of, I've listened to a lot of Tupac now,
Yeah, yeah.
3 years of Tupac.
Have you done a ranking? Every Tupac song ranked?
No, you know what? It's not a bad idea. The thing
Yeah.
is, it's so like everyone has their different, I mean, you know how music is. It's like
Yeah.
I can love. There are plenty of people who think "Man Eater" is the greatest Hall and Oates song of all time. You know, it is not.
No. What's the greatest Hall& Oates song of all time?
To me, so I'm a diehard Hall and Oates fan. Like
This
probably
is
my
also
favorite.
one thing my dad said about you. This is
I
the
like Hall and Oates.
first things he said. He said Jeff loves Hall& Oates.
I love Hall and Oates. I would say, I mean, the greatest Hall and Oates song people would know. I think "Rich Girl" is like a 2 minute and 20 second just perfect song.
Yeah,
Like
Rich Girl's
it's perfect.
perfect.
But there's a song off their first album that nobody listens to, and the album is called Whole Oats.
Hmm.
And there's a song called Georgie about a kid
Hmm.
drowning in a pond, and it's
Hmm.
so good. And they never
Yeah.
play it. I'm sure Daryl Hall wouldn't remember the lyrics anymore, but it's a great song.
What is a song that people might be surprised to find out that you love?
Okay, um, I would say I was thinking about this when I was in college in Delaware. I had a roommate named Chris Moser who unfortunately died a couple years ago. I hadn't kept in touch with him. And I saw he died, and he used to listen to a group called Suicidal Tendencies
Oh
all the
yeah.
time. You know Suicidal Tendencies?
Yeah, of course. I just all I wanted
Well,
was
I
a
don't know.
Pepsi. I just want Pepsi.
And all right, I don't even know what that means because I don't listen to Suicidal
You
Tendencies
don't? Okay.
at all. I never do. But there's a song called "You Can't Bring Me Down," which like I'm
Hmm.
assuming you know, and it's basically like this really hard. It's like you can't bring me down, and I freaking love that song. Like it's
Hmm.
one of my top 10 favorite songs of all time.
Really? Okay.
It's a Suicidal Tendencies song. Yeah.
Did you ever then like listen to any more of their stuff or just stuck with that one song?
I listened to the album it appeared on
Yeah.
because he played the album, and I never liked the album, but I
Hmm.
love that song.
Does that song?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I missing something with Suicidal Tendencies? There's something I would love in them.
They're not necessarily my favorite, but they were interesting. But they had one like kind of mainstream hit, Institutionalized, and it's very different than the rest of their stuff, but it's like almost spoken wordish.
Oh,
There's just a
interesting.
part of that song where he's like, I wanted a Pepsi, my mom wouldn't give me a Pepsi. You don't know that song?
I don't. I swear
You gotta check that one out.
to God. You saw the blank look in my face. Yeah, I don't know it. I only know one Suicidal Tendencies song, but I do love it. Yeah.
Are you a big punk rock guy at all or no?
Literally 0%. I hear punk
Hmm.
rock, and it's to me, it's like It's like hearing really raw country music. I just turn it off.
What is a song? So I guess you kind of answered this with suicidal tendencies, but maybe another one. What's a song that you love that someone else introduced you to?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, I happen to marry a diehard Elton John fan. In fact, we just saw Elton John last weekend. He played at Petco. He
Oh,
had a surprise cancer benefit concert, and we saw Elton John. And he's
nice.
78 now, and he's kind of
Yeah.
blind and not quite happening. But there's a song that I love called Amarina by Elton
Hmm.
John. I don't know if you know Amarina.
I don't know that one. No,
It
what
is
album is
so
it
good.
from?
It's kind of I was saying to my wife the other day that it was on the Tumbleweed Connection album. I just looked that up.
Hmm. Okay. All right, I have that album. I know. I got to listen to it again.
Oh, it's so good. And it was also on the sound. If you have you ever seen the movie Dog Day Afternoon?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The opening sequence is played to Amarina is playing. Uh,
Oh, okay.
it's a very country sounding Elton John song. And Elton John does have, I was saying to my wife, if you listen to him, every now and then the country pops up. Like if you listen
Hmm.
to Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, like
Sure. Yeah.
there's some country in there. And this song Amarina, which I played a million times, is from 1970. So it's a very young Elton John. And it's this awesome, awesome country sounding song from him. And I just want to add the other song she introduced me to that I just didn't know, weirdly, is Mona Lisa's Mad Hatters,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is one of the great songs ever. And weirdly, the weirdest thing ever, there's a cover version by Mandy Moore, who
Oh,
did an album of cover songs about 15 years ago.
okay.
And it's great. It's like one of the
Hmm.
best covers ever is Mandy Moore covering Mona Lisa's Mad Hatters, but it's great.
Hmm. All right, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I have not kept up with Mandy Moore's music after Candy or whatever her big single
You know, Mandy
was.
Moore has a voice. Mandy Moore can actually sing.
Yeah.
She's not bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the flip side of that, what's a song that you introduce somebody else to? Maybe you put on a mixtape or a playlist or something.
So I wouldn't say I introduced this to her, but I would say this changed my life, which is again with my wife. Okay, we met in 1999. We didn't really meet. We I have a colleague named John Wertheim, another sports writer. I was at his wedding. I see this little young woman who's the maid of honor, and she's very cute, but I'm afraid to go up to her. So later on, I talked to John, and he sets us up on a date. We go on a first date, and it's really good, and the second date is terrible. Second date is brutal. Um, I didn't realize at the time. She said I had a dried booger affixed to my nose for 7 to 8 hours of this very long date where we
No.
walked around. Yeah, and she didn't have the wherewithal or guts or decency to tell me that I had a booger.
Yeah.
And she was like, she told me she was like, well, this isn't going to work out like this. We were arguing and it wasn't great. Well, the date's over, and I had in the back of my pocket a mixtape that I made for her that I was saving.
Oh, wow.
And she said that mixtape saved saved our relationship, right?
Wow.
So
Second date mixtape. I feel like that's a bold move.
I would say it was more like a clueless move by a guy who didn't know what he was doing and had no game with the ladies. But if you want to take it that way, I would take it that way too. So I give her this tape, and she said she was really down, and she's listening to tape, and I had Hall and Oates on it, and I had whatever by
Mhm.
Huey Lewis or something, whatever on it, and I had the LaBelle song Lady Marmalade on it.
Okay.
So she knew the song, but she thought it was endearingly gutsy. Now I didn't even know what the song was about, probably, but will you sleep with me? Will you go to bed with me tonight? She's a
Yeah.
pro, and my wife found
It's
that really
French.
funny.
How are you gonna know? Yeah.
Correct. I mean, how would I know? It's one of the biggest songs of the past 40 years. Maybe I would have known. She said that song on that mixtape, listening to it glum and sort of down and thinking, oh, another loser gave me another shot. And that song is why my kids exist today.
Oh my gosh. And the third date was good?
Third day was great. And fourth day we went bowling. Finally worked up the nerve to kiss her on date number four. It took me a little bit of a while because that's me. And then we got married 2 years later.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, last one. What is the most recent song that you've fallen in love with?
Okay, interesting. I have become friendly weirdly. So I'm a big Blind Melon fan. I think Blind
Oh
Melon
yeah.
is
Love them.
one of the most
Agreed.
underrated groups of all time. I think the song Soup is one of the best songs of all time. I think
Hmm.
Shannon Hoon would have gone down as some kind of musical genius if he hadn't died after three albums, blah, 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 all the things.
Yeah.
Well, Blind Melon got back together about 15, 16 years ago, and they have a lead singer named Travis Warren. And Travis Warren is a really lovely guy who I've become friendly with. And the other day, he does these covers on Facebook, these really good covers. He once did for me. He did Rich Girl for me, and he doesn't even like Hall Notes, but he did. It was cool. The other day, he did the song Hollywood Hopeful. You know the song
Mm.
Hollywood Hopeful?
Oh, Loudon Wainwright. Okay.
Loudon Wainwright. It's a song by Loudon Wainwright. I never heard of it. I never heard a song by Loudon Wainwright. Is Loudon Wainwright the son of Rufus Wainwright? Is that or the
The dad, yeah.
oh the dad? Okay, he's dead. Loudon Wainwright. I know nothing.
I don't think he's dead.
Oh,
I
all
don't
right.
know.
Well, that's good because he wrote this song called Hollywood Hopeful, and I've now listened to it about 50 times on a loop. It is so
Yeah.
ridiculously good. It's super old. It's it's basically the story of this guy who has dreams of becoming something, becomes something, kind of, is this really what I wanted to become, or does this live up to the hype? And it's this beautiful, I mean, awesome, awesome song that I've been listening to
Yeah.
over and over again. So big props to Travis Warren of Blind Melon for
And
sending
yeah,
me
I
on.
know that song.
Yep.
Yeah, I should listen to more Loudon Wainwright. I like Rufus Wainwright a lot, and then I loved this album. Loudon Wainwright had a daughter, Martha Wainwright. Her debut album was amazing.
Really?
Um,
Oh, interesting.
but she has a song about her dad called "Bloody Motherfucking Asshole." So I don't know if he was the best dad, but
Oh, I'm looking this up. That's
great,
awesome.
but
Yeah,
great songwriter.
yeah, that's very good. And also, I will say, my son, Emmett, who's a freshman at Northeastern, is always sending me new hip hop songs, and that actually really
Hmm.
warms my heart because I got him into hip hop. Like I,
Yeah.
from a young age, we were listening to rap and listening to different songs and blah blah blah, and I was educating him, and now he is educating me. So there's always a new Tyler the Creator song or
Oh yeah.
some obscure rapper who I've never heard of and fall in love with, and that's been very, very cool for me too.
I'm waiting for the day. My kids are 6 and 4, but I'm waiting for the day when they start introducing music to me.
I just want to know, I had when my kids were little, my daughter Casey, I played a ton of Kiss for her. I played Kiss
Hmm.
Unplugged on an endless loop for her.
Okay.
And
Were you doing like social experiments? Like one kid will be hip hop and one
I don't
kid
know
will
what
be
I was
rock and
doing.
roll?
It was funny early on. I don't know what I was doing, but for some reason, Casey and I listened to a lot of Kiss. And I
Hmm.
don't think Kiss is particularly good, but I think they're enjoyable. And I think the
Sure.
theatrics and everything are really cool for kids. And years later, I took both my kids to a Kiss concert. It was on their farewell tour.
Hmm.
And it started raining. It was outdoors in Irvine. It started raining, and Paul Stanley's swinging from a rope. And they're like 70 something years old, and
Yeah,
the music is kind of being piped in. Like you can tell there are notes he's not hitting, but like it felt very full circle for me that I took this girl I kind of raised her on Kiss, and we used to play Kiss Unplugged in the car all the time, and she knew all the words to songs
that's
like Rock
awesome.
Bottom. And then I'm a dad, and she's watching it. It was cool.
All right, well, Jeff, thank you so much. This was amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and I'm really looking forward to the Tupac book. When is it coming out?
It's coming out in October, and it's called Only God Can Judge Me.
You've heard the stories, now hear the songs. Go to wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and you can listen to today's guest's personalized playlist if you search for the guest list with Patrick Hicks.